Grisham joins us now for this week's Speaking Legal discussion. Good to see you as always.
Good to be here.
We're having a big coffee discussion going on here. No,
okay.
All right, you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, here we go. I really want to make sure that if something happens to me and my husband, that my sister-in-law would not get custody of our kids. We have appointed guardians already, but is that enough?
You know, hopefully in a perfect world, that would be good enough.
Where is that?
Right. Well, and normally that probably is enough. But the issue is going to come if that sister-in-law challenges that guardianship appointment in court. And that can happen. You know, guardians, even if appointed by will and named in the will, they have to still be appointed by the probate court.
So just so you think you take care of it because you put it in your will, not necessarily so.
You know, and you have taken care of it, you've appointed guardians, that's good, but that's really the first step. And it doesn't really accomplish everything people are hoping to accomplish, because it doesn't necessarily solve the problem of, hey, what happens that night when you don't make it home? Is that going to keep the kids out of the foster care system, out of the child protective services system for that night or that next couple nights? It really might not do that.
Are you breaking a contract by not doing that?
Well, you're not necessarily breaking a contract, but the issue is because at the time that something happens, if we don't have the right documents, we don't have the right people, we don't have the right processes in place, police and other first responders don't know what to do, and they have a process. And that's to make sure those kids are cared for, and they have to follow it. It's exactly right.
Sure.
And so we put together what are called kids protection plans.
Right.
And those kids protection plans, they have instructions for babysitters, first responders, and guardians, either temporary and or permanent guardians, to make sure that exactly what you want to happen happens exactly when you want it to happen. And you can, in this particular scenario, you can do, and we do this as part of our kids protection plans, you can say, oh, by the way, hey, maybe that sister-in-law looks like she'd be a great guardian.
Yeah.
You know, maybe you named a person and maybe they don't look like they'd be the great guardian, but who knows better than you who the best person is to be the guardian for your kids?
You would think. You
do. And you don't want to judge making that decision if you can avoid that. And so you can put specific instructions, and we can keep them secret, they're under seal, that says, hey, this person shouldn't be the guardian of our kids, even though they might look like a great candidate, and here's why we don't want them. And that document never has to be made public unless that person comes forward and says, hey, I should be the guardian. And then the lawyers or us or whoever's handling that can say, well, judge here. And at that point, maybe you don't care because you're out of the picture.
Well, but you know what you're saying, though, what it sounds like to me, and this is a very specific, setting of guidelines. This isn't just going, yeah, I want Aunt Rose to take them.
Well, I mean, and the scenario that I've heard about is like maybe you've got one sister that maybe doesn't have kids, has never been married, has a fairly carefree lifestyle, but they've got your values. Yeah. The values you want your kids raised by. And maybe there's another family member that they're married, they have a career, they've raised their own kids, and they look very stable. And from the outside, this person looks like they'd be the right guardian to have. Right. But because of something maybe because you're part of this family, they're not the right person to raise your kids. This person is. Okay. Well, you can draft a document that, like I said, doesn't have to be made public, but can be kept in the file, so that when you have nominated the person you want, if there's a challenge by the other party, then that document can come to light. You can say, well, Judge, here's why this is the right person.
Okay, you say it resides in the file. Where does this file reside?
Right, well, that's probably going to be with your attorney's office. Okay. Or we actually provide some electronic versions of some documents for people to have, and you give those to the people that you can trust, that you want to have them in the time that they might need them.
So there's always a reference, a benchmark to go to there.
You can always have that, and we provide some online storage, depending on some plans people might choose with our office. Because we offer some ongoing support for anybody that's involved in this. If they want us involved in their life and their protection going forward, we're there for them.
Right. So people just need to contact you, and they can find. I would imagine this isn't necessarily a boilerplate. You can direct it any way you want.
It's not, and you know what? There's a great starting place for people. It doesn't finish this process by any means. But if you're a person, if you're a parent right now, and you don't have any plan whatsoever, go to kidsprotectionplans.com and get started. That's not my website. Right. I'm part of a group that supports that, but kidsprotectionplans.com, and you can at least get started. Right. making sure your kids are taken care of.
Kidsprotectionplan.com. If people want to get more information from you,
sure. You can find us at willworshamlaw.com or 863-9455 or here at the station, wworsham@color10.com.
Good to see you again, Will.
You too, Tom.
Thanks a lot.